Let's go!
Do you think it's crazy to consider that if Mahomes and Allen switch coaches, that Allen would have more Super Bowls today than Mahomes?
Is that true? Josh Allen, you give him Andy Reid. Does he have a few bowls by now? You guys let me know down below because we're going to dive deep and even ask this question. Is Josh Allen the best playoff quarterback ever? Now, we're mostly a film breakdown-based channel, but we're mixing in even more analytics in this video because statistically, in almost every category, Allen on a per-game basis is that guy. I know that sounds crazy for a guy that has never won an AFC championship or been in a Super Bowl, which is basically the same thing. I'm an idiot. But it's incredible when you actually break down the tape, right? How many playoff quarterback runs do you know that's better than that one right there from Josh Allen versus the Pittsburgh Steelers? But we're also going to focus on his actual matchups versus Kansas City. Now, this, of course, is the AFC Divisional in 2023. As you can see, Allen, these touchdowns were extremely hard to get, but this one, wow. Including, to me, the most underrated Allen versus a Chiefs play. This ridiculous third down ball.
I do think that's crazy. I don't think he would have more Super Bowls than Mahomes. Listen, I think Patrick is going to go down as a Mount Rushmore athlete, not football player, athlete. He already now has more playoff victories when his defense allows 29 points than any quarterback in NFL history.
So let's stop it right here with Nick Wright because I think this is disingenuous to Steve Spagnuolo because in some of these 29-point games, he was actually good, right? And on top of that, he's mostly been dominant. So of the 4 Mahomes record 29-point victories you're looking at him now, 2 of them belong to Josh Allen. So here's where the Chiefs' defense really shines. Only 9 times have they given up 23 points or more in a playoff game during the Mahomes era. Guess what? Half of them, or nearly half of them, belong to Josh Allen. He did it in all 4 of these playoff losses. So it's really just been an Allen problem defensively for the Chiefs.
And I think Josh is excellent. I also think that Josh had the ball with 3.5 minutes left, down 3, and got 17 yards and 0 points. And that's a year after getting the ball back with 6 minutes left, down 3, and got 40 yards and 0 points.
Here, Nick is partially correct. So, this final drive was not on Allen. Should he have set a better protection here? Sure. But he does a Superman throw. As many of you know, Kincaid should have caught it, and we've done a deeper breakdown of this. But it was actually the play before that Allen checked into. Amari Cooper forgot to play football, and if we want to see the breakdown of the play of the year from George Karlaftis, this should have literally been a touchdown. I'll link it down below.
You get to relive any play of your entire career, any level, and you get to do it over again and do it differently. Where are you going, Josh Allen?
The last throw to Khalil Shakur against the Chiefs. If I could just move up or move in the pocket just a little bit and give a better ball, who knows what's going on now.
And this is where Nick is right. This was an all-time miss right here from Josh Allen. And for him to acknowledge it is letting me know everything there is to know about him because there were a bunch of other Bills drops, including the Stephon Diggs one. But here, the great Chris Jones pile drives a Pro Bowl left tackle right into Allen's lap. But as Josh points out, he still could have stepped up and made the big-time throw to potentially win this game. Now, Mahomes would have gotten the ball back. Who knows what would have happened? But still, Allen has got to step up and make this throw. But this is part of the problem. The margin of error for Josh Allen is so thin where Mahomes has a little bit more wiggle room because his defense is better, the coaching is better, and his special teams is better as Tyler Bass missed the kick after this throw. Now we're about to dive deep into the numbers, but before we do that, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell if you love deep football analysis such as this one. Let's go. Now, as far as the future is concerned, Allen, if you compare him to Peyton Manning here, they're pretty identical, but the big difference is Josh Allen clears Peyton Manning when it comes to playoff statistics. Statistically, though, Allen might be the playoff GOAT. So you're looking at all his stats all wrapped up into one little chart here. And as you can see, over 3,000 yards passing, 600 yards rushing, 32 touchdowns, no lost fumbles, and only 4 interceptions in 13 games. Y'all, that is Lamar Jackson's 2023 MVP season, and Allen did that in 13 games where Jackson had 16, and this is versus playoff competition. And obviously with the Super Bowls, you would say Mahomes is a better playoff quarterback, but take a look at this head-to-head chart from Adam Pencil. The blue dot represents Allen. The red dot represents Mahomes. And these are all playoff quarterbacks since 2020. As you can see, they are pretty similar when it comes to their distance in every single category compared to every other dot that you see. And as Adam points out, the volume stats obviously are going to go to Mahomes because he's just played in more games. So when you actually do like first downs per game, first downs per drive, the gap between Allen and Mahomes is actually pretty close. So it really, really, really is impressive. So now let's focus on per game statistics. As you can see from Austin, Josh Allen, first in yards per game, touchdowns per game, touchdown to interception ratio. And he's just getting screwed over by his surroundings. More on that in just a moment. And once again, Allen, first, yards per game, touchdowns to interception ratio, touchdowns to turnover ratio. Absolutely ridiculous. These are the stats Josh Allen, in which the Chiefs eliminated him. Literally, this is an all-time playoff sun run where his best performances actually came versus the absolute best defenses. Allen versus the Chiefs, dominant in the regular season, but just because he loses in the postseason to him doesn't really mean a whole lot for his own personal legacy, because you see his numbers actually get way better in the playoffs in every category. Allen, as you can see here, 3 of the 10 best passer rating performances of the past 5 years in the playoffs. But this next chart is where it gets really damning towards Sean McDermott. Yes, he's the reason. Allen, in his playoff losses, so we're just focusing in on the games that he lost. Second in EPA per play, only to Phillip Rivers, but by far his defenses were the worst. Notice, this is not even close. If your dot is higher, that means your defense sucks worse. As you can see, I'll even zoom it in for you, just for you. Look at how much higher this dot is for Josh Allen compared to everyone else. He's getting no help. It's an act of terrorism, if you will, that he's not been to a Super Bowl because of this defense. Move EPA out the window. Let's use a simpler stat like points, and let's use the same metric that we used earlier, that 23-point cutoff. The Bills have only held 22 or less in 13 Josh Allen playoff games 5 times, and you're looking at the quarterbacks here. Obviously, Watson, pretty good. Lamar Jackson. But look at the last 3 times. McCorkle Jones, Mason Rudolph, and rookie Bo Nix. Nothing to really write home about. But this is where it gets interesting. These are 2 quarterbacks that put up 23 or more points versus freaking Sean McDermott. The corpse of Phillip Rivers put up his best QBR of the season, and Skylar freaking Thompson. But here's the biggest problem. It's actually when McDermott plays the best quarterbacks. So versus Patrick Mahomes, Patty put up his best ever success rate per drop back in this 2024 playoff victory. And in each season Mahomes plays the Bills in the postseason, he posts his highest ESPN QBR of that postseason. So it's not the fact that the bad quarterbacks have done well versus McDermott. It's that the absolute best have put up some of their best performances. And as you can see, these are Mahomes QBRs in each postseason. You'll see occasionally he'll post like a 40, a 50, a 60, or a 70, but versus the Bills, he is always beyond elite. All right. Notice, for this entire video, outside of some highlights at the beginning, I never mention the ending of this game. Not squibbing, of course, giving easy pitching catches to 2 Hall of Famers to allow the all-time best postseason field goal kicker to get into field goal range. So, I don't think people understand how bad Sean McDermott has been. And you could actually go back and look at my Twitter account. When Brian Dable went to go take the Giants job, I said, please Bills keep Dable and get rid of McDermott, he's really that bad. But they keep giving him opportunities when you know what the result is going to be if Sean McDermott is in a big playoff game. Okay? Now, is all of this on McDermott? Is some of this on Josh Allen? Sure. And it goes back to the initial Colin Cowherd question. By the way, I idolize the great Colin Cowherd. And in fact, when the Super Bowl was last in New Orleans, I actually did some producing on Colin's show when he was with the Four Letter Network. So, Colin, if you're watching this, let's link up. But, look, I disagree still. Do I think Allen has more Super Bowls than Mahomes? No, Mahomes is still better. He just is. They are different quarterbacks, right? I think Josh Allen, of course, might be the overall better playmaker. Obviously, the stats back that up. His postseason stats are better than Patrick Mahomes. But, you know, the Andy Reid offense is very intricate, very delicate. And do I think that Allen has one, if not two Super Bowls? Maybe so with the Andy Reid offense. But so much of Andy's offense is reliant on the QB playing in structure, all right? And that's not really Josh Allen's game. Now, can he play in structure? Sure, yes. But that aside, it has not helped Josh Allen at all that he's had one of the worst head coaches in the NFL. I'm willing to say that. I'm fine saying that. And you know, you look at so many different things. What if the Bills drafted or was able to draft Trent McDuffie instead of Kaiir Elam? That was such a big difference in the 2024 matchup. What about the Xavier Worthy versus Keon Coleman? That was a chasm in difference in production in this playoff game, as Worthy was phenomenal and Keon was on a milk carton. So it's crazy to think that those decisions also play a role, and that's another thing. Obviously, the Chiefs front office, as far as general manager is concerned, being compared to Veach, it's not close either. So in almost every facet you could point to, and let's be fair, Mahomes has had to overcome a lot of misses in the draft himself. It is undeniably true that Mahomes has a beneficiary of the best offensive play caller of all time, even though I like Joe Brady a lot, and the best playoff defensive coordinator of all time, which is Spags, right? Now, if you want to see how masterful these two are, bang, take a look at how they stole from another all-time great coach to beat the Bills in this last matchup, and we'll talk to you soon. Let me know what you guys think. Yes! Power Hour NFL. Boom! Tonight, we are doing grilled chicken. Let's go.